Welcome back, everybody. It's Monday evening, Labor Day. We didn't do a whole lot today in the shop or outside. We pretty much stayed in the house and got our rest today. Long weekend without much sleep. We did go out to dinner tonight, though, down to Longhorn to have steak with Billy and Molly. After we got back, Vicky and I and Tommy unpacked the Suburban and got everything out to dry everything out. It rained almost all weekend, or at least it seemed like. And the tent and everything that was in the booth really needed to be laid out and let dry out. While Vicky was working on that, Tommy and I got the Falcon put in the shop and started unpacking the trailer, putting the scooter and the four-wheeler away. Both the Falcon and the S10 are really in need of an oil change and some maintenance before the next weekend's race. Although we didn't do very well with the truck or the Falcon this weekend, we had a wonderful time up at Pacemakers. Billy went out first round to Jacob Muncie in the Vega, and Tommy went out second round after we just couldn't seem to cure the little Falcon of trying to stand on the bumper at about 60 feet. All right, guys, so as I mentioned in the last video, the plan, this weekend we had a plan. Friday was going to be Pacemakers, Saturday was going to be Marion County Points Race, and then Sunday we would be back at Pacemakers for Matt Ryce's Shitbox Supply Shootout event. Well, we went to Pacemakers Friday night and we tested. Good news, bad news. The truck was flying in the first half of the track. I mean, flying. It was running really good. And the track at that time wasn't very good. Like, there hadn't been a whole lot of passes down it at that point, and it hadn't been scraped. Like, it was sketchy, okay? Well, the truck was flying to about 330 feet, and then it was going lean on the other end, and I was making some changes. We jetted it up, and then it went worse, lean, and so that's when we found the fuel filters were plugged, right? Simple fix. Saturday morning, Billy went straight to Jegs, went and picked up some new fuel filters. Problem. I can't believe it. One of the brand new power valves that I just put in the carburetor, the rubber diaphragm failed in it. And it was pouring fuel out the bottom of the carburetor. So I don't have any spare brand new ones. So I had to put one of his old power valves back in the carburetor so that we could race Saturday. So we're headed to Marion on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. And we get about halfway there and they canceled because of rain. There was a storm front moving in and it was starting to rain at the track. So we're halfway there and we make a right-hand turn and head back northeast to head to Pacemakers, because they said if you get rained out at Marion, we'll race at Pacemakers Saturday. So we turn and burn up to Mount Vernon. We get up to Pacemakers, unload everything, and before we could even make a test hit, it starts raining. So we left the truck and we left the Falcon sit outside in the rain because Vicky had food and a whole bunch of other stuff set up in the back of the trailer, and we didn't want to put all that stuff away. So we left the car and the truck sit outside. Scrappy. You two, knock it off. Quit being scrappy.
Hi.
What do I owe the pleasure?
I'm just getting some of my stuff out of Tommy's way.
I'm trying to work on this video.
Okay. Try not to stay up all night.
You gonna help?
I can't help you with that.
Oh, you could if you wanted to.
You're redoing this whole thing. You are not saying that. Hi. How late are you going to be out here doing this?
It depends on how many interruptions I get.
This is my last trip out here.
I was telling him about this weekend that it rained Saturday and we were going to Marion, and we turned around, went to Pacemakers, and we got there and unloaded everything, and then it rained. And we,
Oh.
okay, and then we left the cars and the truck sit out in the rain all night.
Yep.
And you and I stayed there in the camper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, we covered Billy's exhaust things.
Right.
Like, it was sort of protected, but yeah, we had already set up a huge food buffet and all the other stuff, you know, in the back of the trailer, so.
Yeah. So.
People gotta eat.
Okay, so Saturday, it was a rain out, right? And I watched some movies in the trailer basically and slept most of the day. And it is what it is. We got rained out. So the canopy and everything sat outside all night long, pouring down rain. So everything's kind of damp. Mm-hmm. And then Sunday morning, we get up, still raining. It's still raining.
Yeah.
We went to Bob Evans, right? We went and got breakfast with Billy and Chris Lane. Mm-hmm. And then we went back to the track, and the sun come out, and everything starts to look really good until first round. So evidently there was some words discussed Friday night about grudge racing this Vega. I wasn't a party to it. I don't know how that came about, but Junior ends up calling out this Vega first round off the trailer. And we didn't have any test passes with this old power valve in it, which the only other passes we had with that power valve in it, it went pig rich right off the launch. Well, that's exactly what it did again. Only this time it really cost him. So Vicky's back in the house now. So anyway, first round, the truck went pig rich on the launch, killed a 60-foot. But there was another problem that happened during that run, and I haven't seen any video evidence of it that I can reuse, and I didn't catch it while I was on the starting line. But when we backed Billy up after his burnout, there was a considerable amount of water just inside the right rear tire track. And at first, I thought maybe it came from Eric Mann's car. It had copious amounts of water, I guess, I don't know. His car was completely full of water, like the doors were full of water, and Billy said he was dumping water out of the doors in the staging lanes. But I don't think it was Eric's car. To be honest, I think it was Billy's truck. I was thinking about it tonight on the way home from dinner, and I really think that what happened was when the truck sat outside all night in the rain, that bed cover isn't sealed. It's just an aluminum bed cover, and we've had trouble with it in the past with water getting in the bed. And in fact, one time we went clear to the pad down in New Orleans one weekend, and we drove through a hurricane through Georgia, parts of Georgia and Alabama, and the water had actually gotten into the fuel cell. And I missed it. I didn't think to check, and the kids evidently didn't check, but I really feel like there was some standing water left in the corners of the bed or something. And as you see the truck go down the track, you can see it start to light the tires. And I think that's about the time Billy grabbed the scramble. He actually short shifted it and grabbed the scramble because he was behind. And the truck drove hard to the left, out of the groove, and literally spun the whole way down. It was terrible. It just a bad run. Like, oh, it went slower, that pass, than it did Friday night letting out of it at 400 feet. Just bad luck. Stupid mistakes. So moving on, that left Tommy, and Tommy was right behind Billy. Eric was first. I helped Eric with his burnout. Billy was second. I helped Billy with his burnout. And by the time Tommy came up, the tire tracks were really, really good. Now, as I'm backing Tommy up in his tracks, you can see the tracks are really, really good looking here, and he's dead in them. Now, this is the Mustang that took Billy out, I think, second round the weekend prior up at Mag's. So Tommy, of course, wants to knock this guy off his throne. As you can see there, Tommy was pretty pumped up, and it's a natural born talent. Like you can't teach a young man to drive like he drove that Falcon. And in fact, before he made that pass, I said, lift once. Lift once. We can live to race another day. I can't bear to see you wad this thing up and risk getting hurt. I put that in his head right through the window as I backed him up. Lift once. Well, the little turkey, it's just in my kids to drive like that. It's just instinct. It's natural instinct. You can't teach what Tommy is able to do. You can't teach what Billy's able to do. I've seen these kids pull off some crazy things, but that was an incredible pass. He pedaled the car, set the front end down, got back in it. It's still in low gear, and it came right back. It came into second gear and rolled out the back, and Tommy pulled out a win. Now, I think he out 60-footed the Mustang enough that it put the Mustang at a deficit there early in the run, and I don't know what that fella did. He may have gone ahead and grabbed the scramble and did what Billy did. He grabbed the scramble early and knocked the tires loose and kind of slip and slid all the way down the rest of the way, because I'm telling you right now, that Mustang's way faster than it went beside Tommy. That car is a killer. It's a bad hammer. It's out of Pennsylvania. I'm not sure whose car that is. I don't even know who the driver's name is. But anyway, we got through them. But next round, Tommy draws Eric. Now, a week or so ago, we had helped Eric test on the street, and we knew what that car was capable of doing. Now, he didn't make a really good hit first round, but that doesn't mean that car won't come to life in the second. Now, I think I mentioned a week or so ago that sometimes when you pull timing to control a wheelie or control wheel speed, sometimes when you pull timing out of an engine that's turbocharged, sometimes you really have to pull a bunch to kill power, because if you only pull 5 or 6 degrees, sometimes that's just enough to increase the heat in the exhaust, spinning the turbos, and it'll actually spin the turbo a little harder, which increases power. I know that's hard to comprehend for some people, but the fact of the matter is it happens a lot. A lot of times people are retard timing to get them to come up on boost early or quicker to spool the turbos on the trans brake. And evidently, I don't know how many degrees Billy pulled. I think he pulled 5 or 6 is what I think I remember him saying. But I think the 5 or 6 degrees he pulled actually just, it may have remained neutral power-wise because it spooled the turbos a little harder. So even though he pulled 5 or 6 degrees, it really didn't take any power away from it ultimately. And the Falcon stood up again. So, Tommy rode it out as far as he could. And Billy had assured him that, pulling that timing out should set the nose down if it's up in the air. So Tommy tried to ride it out as far as he could until he really couldn't see where he was going. And at that point, he just had to lift. And Eric was driving away from him anyway. Eric's car is a real hammer. It's a really good car. It's got a lot of power in it. The chassis sorted out halfway decent. You know, we helped him put some springs and some things on it the other day, and helped him try to get it squared away a little bit, and the car seems to be doing really well. So that pretty much ended our night, except Allison was still in, and so was Molly. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit tonight about how happy it made me to see Allison up there racing that dart this weekend. She got a tough draw first round. She got taken out first round. But the important thing was Matt Ryce's Shitbox Showdown was an incredible success. Now, the whole idea behind the Shitbox Showdown weekend at Pacemakers was for everyone to feel a part of this and for everyone to have fun. That was absolutely the case, especially when it came to the shitbox classes. During the driver's meeting, Matt Ryce came out as his alter ego, King Shit, and everybody couldn't help but laugh and pay attention. He came out on the balcony in his cape with his flag and his crown, and the D-Team guys were bound and determined to put on a hell of a show for everybody out there with your normal, average, everyday shitbox. Whether it was an LS Swap Turbo S10 or an LS Swap Volvo wagon. I mean, my God, look at this thing. Everything from that to this beautiful small block stick shift S10 and everything in between. Now, most of these cars and trucks are local. Some are from out of state. But they all share one thing in common. All of them probably couldn't compete in the regular classes. They're just not fast enough. But that doesn't mean they're any less fun to drive, to tune, and to race. Everybody wants to see their dad racing down the track, including Matt Ryce's little girls who think the world of Matt, who works extremely hard at what he does. The entire day was absolutely a blast, especially for Allison. Now, when Billy bought that dart, it was kind of an impulse thing, right? We found it while we were eating lunch on Marketplace. The guy messaged Billy back. Billy sent a deposit. Bada bing, bada boom. Me and Limpy and Billy all go to Detroit and go get this dart. But what we really didn't understand and what we couldn't have realized is just how much that dart was going to bring not only our own family together, but our family and Allison's family together as well. Allison's family are diehard Chrysler people, diehard bracket racers, super stock, that kind of stuff. That's their thing. That's what they're into. So for them to embrace the kind of racing that we do, it's a little tough. You know, that's way outside their comfort zone, so to speak. So I've known her dad a long time. I've known her mom a long time. And I wasn't really sure how they were going to react to their daughter racing in no prep races. But it was incredible. Her mom and dad came up and watched. Her dad actually lined her up on the starting line first round amongst all these people on the starting line. Like, when you bring a bracket racer to a no prep, it's like they look at it like the Taliban's taking over their track. You know, it's like a bunch of wild Indians. There's people everywhere, you know. It's just totally different from a bracket race. It's just a completely, totally different atmosphere. It's fun. I mean, it is a lot of fun. And so it really made my heart full to see Jeff, Allison's dad, out on the starting line, pulling her up. She got a car link head start. Matt's Shitbox Showdown was very interesting, to say the least. And you'll need to watch for Matt's update in his video, because I think he'll cover everything in detail. But some of the cars were going to get a head start. Some of them were going to get set out of car. Some of them got the back tire, whatever. And King Shit, aka Matt Ryce, was the one who made the decisions. And I'll be honest, I thought it was going to start a hell of a shit show in the staging lanes when he started telling me what he was going to do. And he was very nervous. He was almost sick to his stomach, worried about how things were going to go, because no one has ever done anything like this. They actually kicked a couple cars out of the shitbox class and moved them up to small tire and took a vote on it. And they did all this craziness. And I don't want to give it away, but you'll want to watch Matt's YouTube channel, his DNR Auto channel, to see how he pulled this off, because, oh my God, it was really something. But anyway, I want to close this video out tonight saying thank you to Matt and his family for coming over here, putting on that race, and putting a smile on so many people's faces. Everybody had a wonderful time. They packed Pacemakers full on a Sunday. On a Sunday. Couldn't believe it. With only a handful of days to promote it and put it together and get the word out that everybody's going there. So congratulations to Pacemakers Outlaw Dragway, the new owners, to D-Team Racing and Matt Ryce for putting on an incredible event. We had a blast. I know we didn't do very well, but that's okay. That's okay. We haven't decided yet exactly where we're going yet this weekend, but I've got an idea. It looks like we may be going to King of Columbus at Trails, because I'll tell you, we raced at Pacemakers this weekend on a really good surface. We're not used to doing that. The cars aren't set up for that. We're not used to tuning for that. Obviously, because the Falcon stood up again. But we need to get ready for that, because Pacemakers is going to continue to do no prep races up there the rest of this year, and next year is going to be jam-packed. I guarantee it. So we need to test and get things straightened out on these two vehicles on a good surface. So that's what we intend to do possibly this weekend. We may go to King of Columbus at Trails and just use it as a good test session this weekend to get our feet wet running these two things on a good surface. So that's going to do it for tonight, guys. I'm going to finish this up, upload the video, and head to bed. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned. There's a lot of good stuff coming on SRC Photo, DNR Auto, and Motorsports Molly. She went to the final, by the way, in stick class. Good night, everybody.